Not one, not two, not three, but Deeply sent me their whole PLA lineup, which is 4 different types of PLA. So the lineup consists of a PLA in marble, PLA Plus in sea green, a matte PLA in lavender, and a rapid PLA in silver. They all came vacuum sealed with a silica packet. Looking at the top of the filament, we could see that there is not really any tangling in the silver, the lavender, and the sea green. The marble, maybe a little bit. We'll see how it works out. All the filament's dry. I dried it for 8 hours, and I also printed out these filament spool adapters that even say Deeply right on it. Somebody on Maker World was kind enough to design it for me, so I didn't have to. So awesome. I'll put a link to that in the description below. Let's get these loaded up in the AMS and start doing some benchmark prints. So we're gonna do PLA in the first slot here. PLA Plus in slot number 2 here. Rapid PLA in slot 3. And finally, matte PLA in slot 4. Skipping forward about 2 days now, I've been printing almost around the clock with this filament, and the preliminary tests are looking good so far. So let's hop in and start looking at some prints. And I just want to say I've been pretty hesitant to do another filament review since I've done them in the past and they haven't done well. But this filament is extremely affordable. It's between $10 and $20 a roll. And you know, with present times, it's nice to be able to save a buck when you can. For the first benchmark, we did a all-in-one test. This is the marble PLA. And as you can see, it had no problem doing a 80-degree overhang. Now the bottom here does get a little messy, but that seems to be pretty standard with all the filaments. Bridging test, no problem, all the way across. Looking at these little posts here, no stringing or very minimal stringing, and everything on this test seems to look good. Very similar results with the PLA Plus. I really like this color. I hope it pops on the camera. Overhang, it's got a little messiness there, pretty standard. The bridging test, very good. Looking at the little spikes, very minimal stringing. And that's what happens when you have a nice dry filament, but man, the quality of this filament, pretty nice so far. Rapid PLA, looks very good. Very similar results, a little messiness, good overhang, minimal stringing. And finally, the matte PLA. This, you know, very similar results, looks good. Overhangs look good, bridging looks good. Stringing looks good. So I printed these benchies as a speed test, but I don't think they're valid, so I just showed the benchies here, but I changed the volumetric flow rate in Bamboo Slicer to be high enough for 400 millimeters per second, and then I printed all of these out. They all look great, but I think that the benchy is so small, and I did not change the acceleration values that my printer was printing at, so I don't think it ever had a chance to get up to those higher speeds, so just enjoy some benchies. So we're down here in the basement to do the strength and the flexibility test for the filaments. And I just have to say, we need to pour one out for my old Ender 3 V2 and my Ender 3 Max. And I also have my Ender 3 Pro there that I did a ton of modifications to. Those printers, they're just in the graveyard now. If you haven't seen one of my printer pass videos, I do a strength test where I print out these hooks that I designed, and I hang a 5-gallon bucket. And then I use some weights to see how much weight that little hook could hold. Generally, for PLA, we see about 20 to 25 pounds, so we'll see. All right, starting off with the marble PLA. I'm gonna grab, this is a 20-pound weight. This is a 5er, so I'm gonna start with the 20 pounds. Let's just hop right into it. I think 25 is gonna do it. She's holding on by a thread. Let's go for 30. Okay, so probably like 27, 28 pounds it broke. Now we have our sea green PLA Plus hook in there. Let's throw the 20 pounds in. Oh, early breakage. That was catastrophic. It broke in multiple places. Typically it breaks right here, but I print 2 for a reason. Let's try that again. Let's try 20 pounds. Once again, another catastrophic failure at just 20 pounds. That's quite interesting. Let's try the Silver Rapid 20 pounds. Looking good so far. All right, looks like we got breakage at about 25 pounds. It was right when I placed it in, so I'm saying like 23-ish. All right, lastly, we have our lavender matte PLA. So let's start off with the 20 pounder. Breakage right at 20. I would say that is the typical snap point. Let's run that back. 20 pounds going in. Absolutely wrecked. Definitely an interesting result. I did not expect the Marvel normal PLA to be the strongest from this test, but that is what was proven. Also, the bucket took a little damage. I don't know if you can see, but there's a crack at the bottom of it now. Do you think this test was actually worth it though? Let me know down in the comments. So I won't know how those did until post when I edit and make sure I get the angles right. And also I wasn't even looking because I didn't want a piece of plastic to fly into my eye, though the matte did the worst. And the sea green PLA Plus felt great in that test. Like it felt very strong as I was pushing it to flex it. So I don't know, what do you think about this? And for the last test, we were just gonna print out some figurines so you could see how they look cosmetically. First up in the Marble PLA, we have a low poly elephant that my wife wanted for her bookshelf. And I have to say, I love the look of Marble Filament. It really hides the layer lines and it just looks so good. In the sea green PLA Plus, we have these Koopa Coochies or something. I don't know. It's some figurine from Bob's Burgers, but my wife's friend wanted them. So here they are. In the Silver Rapid, we have this astronaut figurine. Very cool. And finally, in the lavender matte PLA, we have this gnome that's a little bit angry. So if I have any projects coming up where I'm gonna use a lot of PLA, I'll probably use Deeply. The rolls showed up vacuum sealed with a silica packet. I didn't have any issues with tangling. It worked perfect in my AMS, and the print quality was about the best that I could get out of my printer. The price point being between $10 and $20, super affordable, and their color selection is pretty darn good too. So that's gonna be it for this one. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you have any comments, good or bad, throw them in the comments section down below, and we'll see you next time.